Yuji Krishnamurti is a really interesting philosopher guru. Although he wouldn't consider himself a guru, he's a really interesting person with some very interesting views on life. And I thought it'd be cool to watch him. So let's get into this.
In the hope of finding some kind of answer to the questions they ask.
I watched this. I watched this video before, and there's just some parts in it that make me laugh.
In the hope of finding some kind of answer to the questions they ask themselves, each year a small group of people comes to Gstaad in Switzerland. There they visit Yu-Ji, a 70-year-old Indian man who they believe will give them a deeper insight into the mystery of life.
You see, I don't feel jealous. I don't feel envious if you go somewhere else. It's because I know for certain that you are not going to get anything from anybody there. There is nothing to change there, nothing to be transformed there.
When I first stumbled upon Yuji's work, and because there's a lot of videos of him, these people that go and seek and seeking answers of the universe and what life means, and they go to Yuji with these questions, and it would just baffle me. Like I would, for the longest time, I didn't really understand what he was talking about. I was like, why is he not, helping these people out? He's kind of just, you'll see what I mean with how he engages with people. And it's kind of weird. You're almost like, why are you, he has a really interesting pedagogy, which he wouldn't consider himself a guru. He probably says that in this video, but let's keep watching.
That certainty I have. If somebody promises and you fall for that kind of a promise, good luck to you. That's all that I can say. Go where you will, do what you like. But don't waste your time here. You are not going to get anything here. What you are interested, you can get somewhere. For a price, pay and get it. So why bother hang around me? You are not going to get anything because there is nothing to get. Nothing to get, nothing to change.
In which sense do you function differently?
It never occurs to me that I function differently from anybody. The thought that I am different from anybody never enters my head.
Yeah. Just his response is just so like nonchalant and just, it's so interesting though, because it's like, what state is he, like this state of pure being where he, it's so interesting. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but there's something really interesting about just the way he teaches and he answers questions. Let me go back for a second.
Nothing
differently.
It never occurs to me.
Never occurs to me. Like, there's no way it doesn't occur to him that he's functioning differently if he's like if he's reached some state where he can sort of just be without worry. That doesn't mean he lacks the awareness. I don't really know what he means by that. Whenever I've watched this video, this part always stumps me a bit because I don't really understand how he isn't aware that he's functioning at a different level than maybe what he's saying is that we're all functioning at the same level, which I believe, but his perspective and the way he views things is that just the state he's reached, he doesn't see any difference. Maybe something like that. Hell, I don't know. It's fucking interesting though, I'll say that.
That I function differently from anybody. The thought that I am different from anybody never enters my head. I don't think you are anything that I am not. But when
Right.
once you ask these questions, I begin to realize that you and I seem to be functioning in two different states of being, if I may use that word, quote and unquote. But I try to understand, you see, what the problem is there in you. I don't see any problem. And you are only interested in solutions, you see. My interest is to point out that it is the solutions that you take as valid are responsible for your problems, just to point out. Then I am back in the situation as to what's the problem with him? I don't see any problem, you see. So when you begin to throw those questions at me, I just point out those questions are born out of the answers you already have. Without those answers, there won't be any questions. You see, I don't have any questions of any kind. How come you have questions?
And I think I semi understand his teaching methodology, but at the same time, it's like you didn't reach this place by just saying don't have questions, and like that's a really hard thing about gurus and spiritual teachers, is that the way that they see the world is not the way that people that are trying to be in a place similar to them, where they're more free and more liberated. I notice a lot spiritual teachers and gurus and whatnot, they teach from this place of like that just no one can understand or relate to. They're like, you just kind of look at them like, what are you saying to me? Like, you know what I mean? And even like UG talking from a place of, it just sounds like abstract, and you're like, what is he even talking about? Like,
Answers you already have. Without those answers, there won't be any question.
Without those answers, there's no questions. But I wish he could be a little bit more humane and be able to say, oh, I used to have questions, and then I realized that there are no questions to these answers to these questions that I have. Like, I don't know. There seems to be a disconnect there, or something like that. Or maybe I just don't understand. That's probably what it is.
I don't have any questions of any kind. How come you have questions? You are searching for some meaning, some purpose. And religion provides all answers for that. Still, you haven't found a meaning, no purpose. Always looking for something more interesting to do, but there's nothing more interesting to me, more purposeful, more meaningful to do than what I am doing at this moment. If you are not here, I would turn the television on and entertain myself there. Why you should entertain yourself? Why not? The whole thing is an entertainment.
We put some motive in you there, and that makes you talking to us.
Not with the idea of saving.
Helping.
You can go to hell. Stay
Yes.
there for good. Get out, I'm saying.
But why don't you call it helping? What's the difference? I mean, what's the difference between helping?
The only help I can give you is to call a policeman and throw you out, which I don't want to do. There is certain things like common decency and elementary manners. That's all.
That's exactly what I'm talking about with that guy. That would have been me asking that same question. Like, yeah, like why are you speaking so abstractly in a way that we can't understand? It's like, I don't get it. It's really interesting though. It's really interesting.
I'm not just saying all these things for the sake of saying things. You see, so why do you talk? Too absurd to ask that question. Why it doesn't occur to you that you are the one that is responsible for all this talking? Mm-hmm. If you go out, that's the end of the story for you.
It's like, is he saying? It's almost like he's saying something like, you're trying to understand the meaning of life, or the true nature of things through language and questions. language isn't an objective thing about the universe. It's a thing that humans came up with to survive better. Literally, that's about the only reason why language got to the point it did, and why the language is so complex. And these questions that our mind conceives about reality are backed by language about things that aren't objective facts or things about the universe. So you're essentially trying to describe something, but it's kind of fruitless. I think that's kind of what he's saying. Like, how are you going to describe what the universe is with things that human beings created, things that aren't objective facts about the universe? You're never going to. And so I think that's the thing. I think that's where this is going with his ideology, maybe, is that we can talk about this all day, but we're not going to, there's nothing. He says a lot. There is nothing I can say. Like, there's nothing. You'll continue to see it in this video. It almost seems like he's sort of neglecting these questions and what these people have to say, but I think that's kind of what he's getting at, maybe. I don't know.
What I would do with myself, why are you concerned about it? It's not that, you see. I feel that if you go, there is always somebody to talk to. I assure you that it is not one of self-fulfillment for me. If it were so, that would be my tragedy. I'm doing this for my self-fulfillment. No. Even if you project that image on me, it is just fine with me. I know it is not one of self-fulfillment at all.
But no, there should be an exchange, and there cannot be an exchange.
There can't be.
No, there cannot be. If we try to talk together, we are going to compare our set of information. What I know, what you know. No. But if we start to fight, something is going to happen. If we sing together, something is going to happen. But on the level of information, I cannot meet you, because my past experience is different and yours is different. You've been reading different books, I read different books, and so if we try to, yes, you remember, what is the writer you prefer, and so on, we are comparing information, and there we are never going to meet.
What do you say?
We are comparing information, and there we are never going to meet.
I didn't hear what he said.
We are comparing information, and there we are never going to meet.
Right.
But if we would simply be silent and sit together, as in a Zen monastery, something happens.
If you
I like that.
call the way that you are functioning the natural state, I can't see what is unnatural about the way that I'm functioning.
Wanting to be something other than what you are is unnatural to me. The demand to change yourself, to bring about a change, radical or otherwise, is the cultural input there. You see, you must be something other than what you are. So that is the movement in the direction of becoming something, The movement in the direction of becoming is really the problem, because it is that creates and tells you that this is me and I want to be something like that. It doesn't matter whether you want to be a billionaire, which you consider is a materialistic goal, or to be an enlightened man or a God man or whatever is your particular fancy. Both are exactly the same. The society, culture may consider one superior to the other, but basically and essentially, both the movements in the direction of becoming something other than what you are is the one that is creating all the problems.
But the question is, because I understand what he's saying, but how does one get to this natural state? Because think about it, what he just said. People that, want to be billionaires or that have this sort of inclination to achieve something, right? Like if I want to be a more if I want to be more at peace and more free, it's such a weird thing because you can't. What he basically, if I say something off of what he just said, it would be that his answer to that question would be you can't, in order to, let's use a billionaire for example, in order to be a billionaire, you can't try to be a billionaire. Which there's something there that's really powerful. It's just like, how do you go to that place where you can be more authentic and it more in that natural state without trying to be? I think that's something I run into in many different facets in my life, whether it's trying to be more confident or trying to be more kind and loving towards others. I realize when I'm trying to do it, it doesn't feel the same as when I'm just doing it. Yeah, it's a really interesting. That's a really interesting thing. Like, at what point? How do you get to the doing, and then how do you make sure it's not something you're just trying to do? But is that even wrong to try to do something? Because according to UG, that takes you out of your natural state. Yeah, that's really interesting. Really interesting.
If there is a problem, you have to do something to free yourself from the problem. I am suggesting that what you are doing is the one that is creating the problem, and that is not going to help you to free yourself from that problem.
Listen, Eugene, it's not possible for us to get to the bottom of it.
What do you want? Tell me.
To get to the bottom of it.
Bottom of what?
This living life. You've just spoken and said something about the human condition, which I didn't know about because I'm inside it. You allegedly are outside it, and so you've said something which I feel might be important to an insider who cannot see the degradation, who cannot feel the degradation, who cannot feel the masochism. That may be one of the things. What your use is.
By coming here, you have lost the precious chance you have of resolving that problem for yourself and by yourself. Then you will.
That isn't how. I don't want to say his teaching style is wrong or bad because it helped me. It's just like that's just his teaching style, I feel like I get what he's saying, but there's such a better way you could put that, You don't have to be so abstract and so, oh, you wasted your time coming here. You lost the one precious chance you had. Like, you don't be like, I get it. He could say something like, I get it. You're chasing this thing, and well, the problem is the chase, and once you stop chasing it, it'll be there. I mean, he's essentially saying that, but I just think there's a way that you could put it that is a lot more digestible and fluent, But his teaching style is really interesting. I mean, it had an impact on me. It's just, I struggle with it sometimes, I struggle with it a little bit.
Know that nobody else, no outsider can help you, and you have no way you can free yourself.
Yeah, but if you've taken a step out, then you...
Yeah, like... But that's not true, though, because I believe UG had outsiders that helped him. I believe, I don't want to misspeak and misrepresent him, but I'm pretty sure that he had the help. He was assisted by gurus or spiritual teachers along his journey. I don't know precisely, but let's see what this question was.
Can help you.
I love how they're arguing about the meaning, like the meaning of life. That's so cool.
and you have no way you can free
Yeah, but if you've taken a step out, then you can see what I can't see.
Because I think that part of me is wants to be real, but a part of me as well is unreal, and it's trying to work out that contradiction, and that's why I come and discuss, argue the toss with him, and try to, in a way, through the talk and through the
Part of me's real, part of me's not real. Is he talking about like the no self, like Buddhist ideas? Is that what he's talking about? I don't know. That's interesting.
discussion, find myself, if that is possible.
No chance. So you might as well, you see, live in this world, suffer.
No chance, but he's giving them very good advice. He's just you could really put this a different way, but it's entertaining, I'm not gonna lie.
Find myself, if that is possible.
No chance. So you might as well, you see, live in this world, suffer in this world, live in misery and die in misery. There is no way out except to take a drug and go to sleep. For some time, you have to wake up again, or put yourself to sleep for good. I'm sorry.
So what is then this relation between ourselves and the world we live in?
Absolutely nothing, except that the world you experience is the one that is created by you.
But does that
You are living in a world of your own.
Same for him though.
You have created a world of your own experiences and try to project it on the world. So you have no way of experiencing the reality of the world at all.
So is UG implying that he functions from a state that is he has like a pure psyche? Like it sounds like he's functioning from a almost like sentient place where he's just how do you describe that? Because he's projecting his past and everything onto the world as well. How could you not be projecting? Like, how could you not be? Is he implying that he isn't? Oh, this is fucking hard to put into words. Shit. Let's see where he's going with this.
You and I use the same word to describe that as a video camera.
Right.
What you are holding as, you see, a pen or a pencil, as the case may be. So we have to accept all these things as valid because they are workable, you see.
Right.
They make us function in this world to communicate only on.
Okay. I think he's kind of playing with the idea that I was talking about earlier, where I think he's just explaining it a little better at this part, but he's basically saying like, yeah, we have all these things like a microphone and a phone and a computer and all these different things that we use, but what is it really? What really is a mic and what really is a phone and all these things? Because we assign the label to them, but what are they really? We could never really know. Like at the deepest level, you know? But we use this stuff for like tools, and they're great instruments that help us, right? I think that's what he's saying right now.
They make us function in this world to communicate only on that level.
On that level.
You see, intelligently.
But that level is something that, like, there's this philosopher named Nagarjuna. He was, I want to say he was from like 400 AD maybe, somewhere around there. He came after the Buddha, and he's super famous for interpreting the Buddha's teachings and sort of translating them. And he had this idea of these two things, the conventional level, which is sort of what Yuji's talking about, where we have mics and phones and computers, and we have names for things like books and keyboards, water, like all these. We have all these labels and names for things, but then there's something called the ultimate. I think it's called the ultimate truth. Was it the conventional truth and the ultimate truth, right? So the conventional is like we have all these names for things and conventional human things, and then there's the ultimate truth where like you look at things for what they actually are. Like I'm looking at this book right here, but what is this really like molecules, atoms? But what are molecules and atoms, and what is all of that? And but Nagarjuna also says something really interesting, which Yuji's missing, but I'm sure I'm not missing. He's probably just not talking about it. But you can't have the ultimate without the conventional. Like they both go hand in hand with each other. If you looked at the world through just everything is atoms and molecules and we're cells, and you would lose your mind. Like it wouldn't take you long to go insane, because we're human beings and we're in the human condition. There's no transcending that. You could dissociate and look at the world through whatever lens you want, but at the same time, again, the conventional, you can't have the ultimate without the conventional, or the conventional without the ultimate. And so he's just talking about the ultimate right now, but it almost like sounds like he said that conventional wasn't important. Let's go back. Wait. Okay.
To communicate only on that level, you see, intelligently.
Mm-hmm. I'm not in accord.
But that stuff, again, it's super important. And if we didn't have that stuff, if we didn't have the ability to communicate, what did he say? Intelligently or something?
You see, in this world, to communicate only on that level.
Right.
You see,
intelligently. But if we didn't have language, if we didn't have that ability to communicate intelligently, would we even be able to reach such pure states of pure being, or I don't want to say enlightenment, or just like these states where these like superlative states that we hear about, would you even be able to reach one of these states if there was no language? Or would we just be in that? Would we just be in that state? And is that a sort of error that happened in human evolution? Is that we sort of grew away from pure being because of language and abstract thought and all these ideas? I get what he's saying, but I think it's important to emphasize that you can't speak about the true nature of things or understand the true nature of things without being able to meet at the conventional level. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say with that. Anyway. Stuff is fucking deep, man.
Not in accord of many things. When you say that the world exists only because it's a projection of my imagination, but the world doesn't exist in itself, I cannot understand.
The world exists as a projection. That sounds like Advaita Vedanta. Like, I feel like he's not wrong with what he just said. But I just think that if you took what he just said at face value, again, you can lose your mind and go fucking insane. So I think like I don't know how I would add to that. I don't know.
This declaration, this statement. I don't understand. Really, I try to understand, but he say you cannot understand because the instrument you use to understand is the intellect.
Mm-hmm.
Your intellect is conditioned, and so you cannot do. But what can I?
So you can understand the universe without intellect and without knowing anything. I wonder what they mean by understand, because just a few hundred years ago, we weren't even sure if we were living in a... We didn't know what we were living in. We didn't know if it was a universe or whatever. Like, we thought the sun was the center of the universe, and there's all these different theories, right? Like, science has taken us so far and has continuously, like, almost expanded our consciousness in a way. If that's a fair thing to say. That's actually a crazy take. Has expanded our consciousness? I mean, because so many of these people talk about, gurus and spiritual teachers talk about, you can really, or like, true intelligence, true knowing is the unknowing, is like the ability to, like, unknow everything, to let go of everything. And it's like, what do you mean by... I wonder what that means. Like, there's this book, it's called I Am That by Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. And there's just so many ideas in the book where he talks about how he sort of has this knowledge where he can know anything about the universe. And again, maybe I don't understand it, but it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, clearly their definition of knowing is different than knowing that comes with the intellect, like studying physics or studying philosophy and, like, trying to understand the universe better. Their approach is almost like, to understand the universe better, you let go and unlearn everything, which is really interesting. I wonder why. I wonder, like, what... I wonder what about that brings you insight. Like, I can see a lot of liberating factors, but I could be completely missing the point too. But I don't know. That's interesting.
Do nothing. Close. Finished. They say, hold it time, bye-bye.
You tell me what is there to understand. You tell me. I will sit at your
The signification of life.
Huh?
The signification of life.
The significance of life.
Yes.
Huh? How long will it take to understand the significance and meaning of life? 80 years gone. So you're already asking the question, you see, what will happen? I don't have many more years left.
Also, if you understand the signification of life, and that at the end...
So he's asking the signification of life. Oh. The worst question you can ever ask. But I can't help myself from asking it. I ask it all the fucking time, so I don't blame this guy. But it is the worst question to just... But again, it's like one that I can't help, and I don't think anyone else could not ask that question, you know? Fuck.
Of my life, that is something interesting.
No, same question you will ask after another 20 years. I guarantee that. Until you stop asking that question. When that question is not there, you are dead. So that's the reason why you keep asking the question. You do not want the question to come to an end. The question and death are very closely related. They are one and the same.
That's interesting.
The answers that those people, the wise men, have given you are not really the answers. And so, if they were the answers, there wouldn't be any question there. The fact that you keep asking this question all the time means that they are not the answers. Supposing I give you an answer, you will repeat this. The fact that there is no significance, no meaning, no purpose, is something which you will not accept.
Damn. So, nihilism. But there's a way to look at nihilism that isn't so dark and bad. I think nihilism, I tell myself this, I think it's always important for me to have a foot in the water of nihilism. A little bit. Like, I should always have my foot a little bit in that water, because first of all, there's a lot of liberating things that come with that. Or you could, again, if I'm 2 feet in, then it starts to get dark and pessimistic and shit. So I try to always keep 1 foot in that. But yeah, that's Yuji Krishnamurti. He's super interesting. He has some really interesting ideas. I would check him out. Just type in Yuji Krishnamurti on YouTube, and there's a whole lot of videos like this that will pop up of him just like talking and conversating with curious seekers. So yeah, that'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Peace out, y'all.